is Andrea Dworkin. Andrea Dworkin is the author of Pornography, Men Possessing Women, and is co-author with Catherine McKinnon of legislation recognizing pornography as a violation of the civil rights of women.
Thank you very much. My name is Andrea Dworkin. I am a citizen of the United States. And in this country where I live, every year millions and millions of pictures are made of women with our legs spread. We're called beaver, we're called pussy. Our genitals are tied up, they're pasted, makeup is put on them to make them pop out of a page at a male viewer. Millions and millions of pictures are made of us in postures of submission and sexual access so that our vaginas are exposed for penetration, our anuses are exposed for penetration, our throats are used as if they're genitals for penetration. In this country where I live as a citizen, real rapes are on film and are being sold on the marketplace. And the major motif of pornography as a form of entertainment is that women are raped and violated and humiliated until we discover that we like it. And at that point, we ask for more. In this country where I live as a citizen, women are penetrated by animals and objects for public entertainment. Women are urinated on and defecated on. Women and girls are used interchangeably so that grown women are made up to look like 5 or 6-year-old children surrounded by toys presented in mainstream pornographic publications for anal penetration. There are magazines in which adult women are presented with their pubic areas shaved so that they resemble children. In this country where I live, there is a trafficking in pornography that exploits mentally and physically disabled women, women who are maimed. There is an amputee pornography, a trade in amputee, women who have been maimed in that way as if that is a sexual fetish for men. In this country where I live, there is a trade in racism as a form of sexual pleasure, so that the plantation is presented as a form of sexual gratification for the black woman slave who asked, please to be abused, please to be raped, please to be hurt. Black skin is presented as if it is a female genital, and all the violence and the abuse and the humiliation that is in general directed against female genitals is directed against the black skin of women in pornography. Asian women in this country where I live are tied from trees and hung from ceilings and hung from doorways as a form of public entertainment. There is a concentration camp pornography in this country where I live, where the concentration camp and the atrocities that occurred there are presented as existing for the sexual pleasure of the victim, of the woman who orgasms to the real abuses that occurred not very long ago in history. In the country where I live as a citizen, there is a pornography of the humiliation of women, where every single way of humiliating a human being is taken to be a form of sexual pleasure for the viewer and for the victim, where women are covered in filth, including feces, including mud, including paint, including blood, including semen, where women are tortured for the sexual pleasure of those who watch and those who do the torture, where women are murdered for the sexual pleasure of murdering women. And this material exists because it is fun, because it is entertainment, because it is a form of pleasure, and there are those who say it is a form of freedom. Certainly it is freedom for those who do it. Certainly it is freedom for those who use it as entertainment, but we are also asked to believe that it is freedom for those to whom it is done. Then this entertainment is taken and it is used on other women, women who aren't in the pornography, to force those women into prostitution, to make them imitate the acts in the pornography. The women in the pornography, 65 to 70% of them, we believe, are victims of incest or child sexual abuse. They're poor women. They're not women who have opportunities in this society. They're frequently runaways who are picked up by pimps and exploited. They are frequently raped. The rapes are filmed. They are kept in prostitution by blackmail. The pornography is used on prostitutes by Johns who are expected to replicate the sexual acts in the pornography, no matter how damaging it is. Pornography is used in rape, to plan it, to execute it, to choreograph it, to engender the excitement to commit the act. Pornography is used in gang rape against women. We see an increase since the release of Deep Throat in throat rape, where women show up in emergency rooms because men believe they can penetrate, deep thrust to the bottom of a woman's throat. We see an increasing use of all of the elements of pornography in battery, which is the most commonly committed violent crime in this country, including the rape of women by animals, including maiming, including heavy bondage, including outright torture. We have seen in the last 8 years an increase in the use of cameras in rapes. And those rapes are filmed, and then they're put on the marketplace, and they are protected speech. They are real rapes. We see a use of pornography in the harassment of women on jobs, especially in non-traditional jobs, in the harassment of women in education, to create terror and compliance in the home, which, as you know, is the most dangerous place for women in this society, where more violence is committed against women than anywhere else. We see pornography used to create harassment of women and children in neighborhoods that are saturated with pornography, where people come from other parts of the city and then prey on the populations of people who live in those neighborhoods. And that increases physical attack and verbal assault. We see pornography having introduced a profit motive into rape. We see that filmed rapes are protected speech. We see the centrality of pornography in serial murders. There are snuff films. We see boys imitating pornography. We see the common age of rapists going down. We are beginning to see gang rapes in elementary schools committed by elementary school age boys imitating pornography. And we see sexual assault after death, where frequently the pornography is the motive for the murder because the man believes that he will get a particular kind of sexual pleasure having sex with the woman after she is dead. We see a major trade in women. We see the torture of women as a form of entertainment. And we see women also suffering the injury of objectification. That is to say, we are dehumanized. We are treated as if we are subhuman, and that is a precondition for violence against us. I live in a country where if you film any act of humiliation or torture, and if the victim is a woman, the film is both entertainment and it is protected speech. Now that tells me something about what it means to be a woman citizen in this country and the meaning of being second class. When your rape is entertainment, your worthlessness is absolute. You have reached the nadir of social worthlessness. The civil impact of pornography on women is staggering. It keeps us socially silent. It keeps us socially compliant. It keeps us afraid in neighborhoods. And it creates a vast hopelessness for women, a vast despair. One lives inside a nightmare of sexual abuse that is both actual and potential. And you have the great joy of knowing that your nightmare is someone else's freedom and someone else's fun. Now, a great deal has happened in this country to legitimize pornography in the last 10 to 15 years. There are people who are responsible for the fact that pornography is now a legitimate form of public entertainment.